See a guy that Floyd Mayweather told us was his brightest prospect, the guy by the name of Gervonte Davis, who takes a sizable step up.
Floyd's taken every opportunity all week to hype his latest protege.
Davis is Mike Tyson's favorite fighter.
An undefeated southpaw powerhouse.
Another left hand moves him again.
Gervonte Davis. Tank.
What we saw in a very limited time of Gervonte Davis was quite impressive.
And what we saw from Dulai, he came into the ring with the nickname The Terror. I think he left the ring with the nickname The Terrified.
Absolutely.
Surviving on the tumultuous streets of inner city Baltimore forged a rare toughness in Davis.
Like much of America, this is a story of two worlds.
Gervonte's West Baltimore neighborhood typically presented just two outs for young men: jail or death.
Despair is a way of living.
I read where you said boxing helped save my life.
Davis found refuge from the streets inside the squared circle.
You know, one time I fought in front of my house and my uncle seen me fight and he wanted to, you know, turn something negative into positive.
Tank turned pro at 18.
Fighting out of Baltimore, Maryland, introducing Gervonte Davis.
When he walked into Floyd's gym for the first time, he said, "Oh, you're the one I've heard about, Floyd." 6 first-round knockouts. Floyd himself said he saw something special in this young man.
Davis was so dominant out of the gate that Floyd Mayweather took an active interest in him.
Put 12 of his 13 professional opponents out early by knockout. A national TV audience, his hero, his mentor, Floyd Mayweather, sitting ringside.
It's these type of rounds that we need to see if Mr. Davis has everything that everybody says he has.
Mentoring him and promoting him.
His ringside man is the greatest. Look at Floyd Mayweather in between rounds, coaching up his young protege.
Mayweather Promotions helped lift Davis's name from obscurity to superstardom.
I'll tell you what, man, I really...
Oh, nice uppercut. Oh!
Knockout sell, and he is all about that knockout power.
Drop Sanchez, first knockdown of the fight, and Gervonte Davis enjoyed it with a bark over his opponent.
6-7.
Oh, it's wide. Lightning quick power. Sanchez flat on his face, and that's it. Katie Bayless has seen enough. Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen?
When you have quick power like that,
He's split with
Boyd with a smile ear to ear.
Sanchez bleeding profusely in the ring. He's split.
Still undefeated, Gervonte "The One" Davis.
One of the great notions in boxing is the romance of seeing a future champion at a tender young age. The 21-year-old on the right side of the screen gets his toughest test right now.
This isn't the kind of fight Avila wants, a toe-to-toe, power punch kind of brawl.
He has some big whiskers if he's going to stay in this fight.
One of his nicknames.
The Tank. Said it was actually a coach in his youth who just said his head was as big as a tank.
Davis opened a cut over Avila's eye.
Just cut Avila, and Davis thinks he might have something here in round number 3. A big cut exploded on the face of Avila.
Leading up to the fight, it was a lot of, he's too young. He don't have that many fights.
Davis piling up points. The crowd reacts to it and bombs away for Davis.
Tank Davis was spectacular.
Borrego drops back down to cover up his midsection, exposes the head. The crowd senses something here.
Boom, perfect timing.
Drops him, and some showboating here. Joe Myers has seen enough. It is over. Gervonte Davis bounces up and down on the ropes.
Yeah, I think he's the most exciting fighter in the world, partly because he's vulnerable.
By TKO, still undefeated Gervonte the One Davis.
He has not.
Early payday, fee-free overdrafts. No monthly fee. Chime, the #1 most loved banking app.
He has not lost as a pro. 15 wins, 14 knockouts. He's only 21 years old.
But again, now when I look at Davis, I mean, his potential is off the chart.
We get a first-round look at one of the most hyped prospects in the division.
That's how fast it can end.
A leaping right hook, 40 seconds into the first round. Davis would get his title shot.
All right, guys, how far away? 6 months, a year, 2 years before we can start saying a title contender?
I'm saying he's a title contender right now, but he needs the right type of what you would call, like you said, ex-champion or proven veteran to give him the work that he needs.
He'd take on Jose Pedraza for the IBF strap.
The next young man I'm about to introduce, me and Floyd made a decision that it's time. You know, sometime in life you have to step up, and this is what it's all about. You know, challenging yourself against the best, to see where you're at, going out and proving yourself to be the best. And in order to be the best, you have to fight the best.
The undefeated IBF Junior Lightweight Champion of the World, Jose Sniper
Pedraza was in his prime at 27 and was undefeated at 22-0. Davis put together one devastating combination after the next. Tank used the stage of his first title fight to announce to the boxing world a new king was rising. The spectacular knockout sent the crowd into a frenzy.
He is still undefeated. He is now boxing's youngest current world champion and the new IBF Junior Lightweight Champion of the World, Gervonte "Tank" Davis.
Is this the future of boxing? Absolutely.
Gervonte "Tank" Davis was now a world champion. Next, he'd travel to London to take on Liam Walsh.
Davis at this point, that's a big left hand, and Walsh wants to hold on.
Accepting the challenge of a hostile crowd, Tank obliterated the hometown fighter.
And he puts him down with the left hand in the third round. The power of Davis, and Walsh just couldn't live with it. One more, it's all over, he stopped it. He stopped it, but when Davis unleashed the power shots, there was only going to be one winner. And Gervonte Davis is still the champion.
This guy's a bona fide superstar.
He continued his dominance against Francisco Fonseca.
Alec from P4PK actually has trained with him. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, as far as talent level, you've never seen anything like it. Like, he's such a monster.
Scoring a KO in the 8th round.
heavyweight champion of the world, Gervonte Tank Davis.
The WBA Super Featherweight Championship of the World is on the line.
And we know what he's got in terms of power in both hands, and he comes forward. It ain't like he backs up. He stalks you too, and he comes to finish you.
Straight left and down he goes. That puts Quayshawn on the deck. But Quayshawn gets up. Can Davis bring an end to the night of Jesus Quayshawn in abrupt fashion? Another shot. Quayshawn still seems to be hurt. And Davis close it out and win another world title. Look at this power!
When I think about Tyson comparisons, I think about Tank Davis.
Clinical destruction by Gervonte Tank Davis.
He is now the WBA Super Featherweight Champion of the World, Gervonte Davis.
He was now the WBA Super Featherweight Champion of the world. After a 10-month layoff, the Tank returned to the ring.
It's main event time. The Super Featherweight Championship of the World is on the line.
It's showtime!
He showed no signs of rust, finishing Ruiz in the first round.
Straight left elbow by a right off that bound. It's back and down goes Ruiz. He got blasted. Oh my goodness! This one is over. A first round finish by Gervonte Davis.
21-0, 20 by way of knockout.
Not since Harry Jeffra, when he defeated Spider Armstrong, has a fighter from Baltimore defended a world title.
He continued his knockout ways against Ricardo Nunez.
Big left hook to the...
A left hook connected in the second round, wobbling Nunez.
Nunez is hurt. Now Davis looking on.
Followed by another series of devastating headshots.
Second round destruction.
Gervonte Tank Davis.
He hits so hard. His nickname's Tank, for God's sakes. He hits so hard that you don't get to see his full potential because he's hitting guys and it's over. You're like, all right.
It's showtime.
Scheduled for 12. Bell in round one, undefeated Gervonte Tank Davis in the rose gold with white. Oh!
More punch resistance there.
Gamboa had an iron chin. Surviving one power shot after the next, Gamboa managed to go 12 rounds with Tank.
Gamboa winning this round. And you can make the case for winning a lot.
Oh, there's a step in right hand by Tank Davis. Left.
But you don't realize how good Tank is at boxing until you see him fight a much larger opponent.
5 seconds, and Davis lands a left hand, dropping Gamboa. A minute gone in the 12th and final round. Uppercut, left hand, Gamboa still standing.
But in the 12th round, Davis put the finishing touches on his latest masterpiece.
defending the 135-pound title against Leo Santa Cruz and his newly minted 130-pound belt.
He is the 4-division world champion. He is the current WBA featherweight and super featherweight champion of the world, Leo El Terremoto Santa Cruz.
Against Cruz, Tank walked out in a sombrero. This was in tribute to his mentor, Floyd Money Mayweather.
With the main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBA Super Featherweight and WBA Lightweight Championship of the world.
You know, already Leo Santa Cruz, you can get the feeling he thinks he can push Davis back in this fight.
There, Santa Cruz digging to
Tank delivered, blasting Cruz with one of the most devastating uppercuts in championship history.
Leo Santa Cruz, two champions with the hearts of champions.
If Davis thought Santa Cruz was going to fall.
And then Tank ended it with the knockout of the year, and a year with a bunch of great knockouts.
It brought the crowd to a roar and Mayweather to his feet.
Gervonte Tank Davis's 23rd knockout in his 24th professional fight, all 24 wins.
In the biggest fight of his life, Davis moved up 2 weight classes to challenge unbeaten super lightweight champion Mario Barrios. Davis gave up nearly 6 inches in height to Barrios.
Super Mario Barrios was so much bigger.
Tonight seeking his 3rd division world title, Gervonte Tank Davis.
Both men were undefeated. Both were multi-division champs.
Expectations are indeed high with Gervonte Tank Davis. Ready? The bell and round 1. Davis, the southpaw. Final 30 seconds of the 3rd round.
In those first 5 rounds, I would maybe give Gervonte 2 of those, maybe 1 of those.
And Barrios with the jab instead. It's Barrios that sticks a sharp jab.
You know, halfway through that fight, you're like, who's going to win? Is Tank going to go the distance? He keeps getting clipped.
It was a true dare to be great moment for the Tank.
Now Davis with the jab.
Mayweather continued to coach Tank between rounds.
Hey, he won't be the same fighter in 3 rounds. He running himself out. And you can see everything coming.
Easy rounds to score with the exception of the 6th. I thought that was close. I have Barrios clearly ahead of.
Barrios landed some big shots. Late in the round, trailing on the cards, an uppercut to the body. Sent Barrios to the canvas.
Gervonte Tank Davis.
His future is filled with limitless potential.
Gervonte Davis, still a young fighter, but he's won at least some form of a world title at 3 different weights, 130, 135, and 140.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to Staples Center.
In the boxing world, Davis has juice, and he's wandered to LA where a star-studded crowd has congregated on a Sunday night at the Staples Center. And a nice left uppercut.
Cruz battled the entire fight, absorbing Tank's best shots.
That punch could be foreshadowing for the future in this fight.
Great work. And these two tattooing each other.
Cruz put on a display of heart.
Straight left. Upstairs scores for Davis.
Tank won the decision handily, but his KO streak was ended.
Gervonte Tank Davis overcoming.
And still the undefeated WBA lightweight champion of the world, Gervonte Tank Davis.
We are back here in Brooklyn, New York. A record sellout crowd on hand here at the Barclays Center as we approach our main event of the evening.
Against Romero, Tank returned to his knockout ways.
And here we go, round one. 18,970 people on hand. A record-setting crowd at Barclays Center.
Would fight Hector Garcia in a final tune-up for the super fight with Ryan Garcia. No relation. For 8 rounds, Tank smashed Garcia, dropping the hammer. Garcia's knees buckled.
They're both champions, but in this case, Garcia is the challenger. Oh, now.
He survived the round, but the fight was stopped by his corner. This sets up the fight of the year. Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia.
Nobody brings it home